Hello everyone. Today I have an amazing guest with me, and why he's so amazing, there are several reasons for that. So खाली एक रीजन नहीं है जो मैं आप लोगों को बताऊं, बहुत सारे रीजन हैं कि शुभम सर बहुत ही अमेजिंग पर्सन है और आप लोगों के लिए मैं स्पेशली सर को रिक्वेस्ट करके बुला के लाया हूं क्योंकि सर के पास इतना नॉलेज है कि मतलब यू गेट ओवरवेलम, आप पूछते पूछते थक जाओगे, बट सर नहीं थकने वाले। रीजन बीइंग कि सर ने इतनी लंबी जर्नी करी है। सर हैज बीन विद द इंडस्ट्री फॉर मोर देन 10 years एंड दैट टू उन्होंने एमटेक भी किया है एंड दैट इज आल्सो फ्रॉम आईआईटी दिल्ली। तो वन ऑफ द मोस्ट प्रेस्टिजियस कॉलेज हमारे देश के अंदर है, तो सर वहां से भी एमटेक करके आए हैं। और सर की ऑल इंडिया रैंक सुनोगे तो आप लोग गिर जाने वाले हो गेट में, तो वो मैं अभी धीरे धीरे उस पर आते हैं। ओके, सो गाइज, लेट्स स्टार्ट एंड फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वेलकम सर, वेलकम टू माय पॉडकास्ट एंड थैंक यू सर मुझे टाइम देने के लिए।
Thank you. Thanks, Rajat. It's a pleasure to, come on this podcast and record this session with you. Thank you for, giving that opportunity to.
ग्रेट सर, सर कंप्लीटली इट्स प्लेजर इज एंटायरली माइन। तो सर आई वुड से कि चलिए ऑडियंस को थोड़ा सा मैंने ऑब्वियसली थोड़ा बैकग्राउंड दिया आपके बारे में, सर थोड़ा सा आप अपने आप को इंट्रोड्यूस करेंगे ताकि लोग थोड़ा और कनेक्ट हो जाए उस तरीके से।
Sure, definitely. Hello, yeah. Hello, everyone. So it is Shubham here. You don't need to call me sir or anything. Just let's keep it clean. As Shubham. So I think I have been known Rajat since college. He was my junior during the BTech days. Just to have a very crisp introduction, I have completed my master's from IIT Delhi in computer science. After that, I have worked with multiple MNCs, and I have switched to the startup space about 5 to 6 years ago. And since then, I have worked with a good number of startups. So, yep, that has been my educational and professional journey so far. Currently, I'm working with a startup in Noida. So, yeah.
ओके, आई थिंक सर दैट इज ग्रेट एंड सर व्हेन यू मेंशन दैट यू हैव मूव टू द स्टार्टअप स्पेस, तो सर उस पे भी आएंगे आगे जाके थोड़ा सा, क्योंकि आपने वो ट्रांजिशन देखा है बेसिकली। क्योंकि सर जब आप, आई थिंक आप और मैं, इनफैक्ट हम भी पास आउट हुए थे, उस टाइम पे स्टार्टअप्स इतने नहीं थे इंडिया में,
Right,
वो वाला
right.
कल्चर नहीं था। तो लेट्स गो फॉरवर्ड देयर। अच्छा सर, थोड़ा बेसिक से सर स्टार्ट करते हैं। बट सो सर सबसे पहले मैं जानना चाहूंगा आप हाउ वाज योर स्कूलिंग एज अ किड। जब आप स्कूल में थे हाउ आर यू, क्योंकि सर मैं जब आपको कॉलेज में देखता था तो आप हमेशा से टॉपर, हमेशा जो क्रीम बच्चे होते हैं वहां रहे हो, ठीक है, एंड दैट इज ट्रू। नाउ द थिंग इज कि सर स्कूलिंग जब आपने स्टार्ट की, आप स्कूल में किस तरह के स्टूडेंट थे एंड व्हेन यू आर इन योर 11th एंड 12th स्टैंडर्ड, तो सर वो आपको विजिबिलिटी कैसे आई कि मुझे इंजीनियरिंग करना चाहिए? क्योंकि सर जनरली क्या होता है, कहीं ना कहीं हम ना हमारे पेरेंट्स बोलते हैं कि चलो ए ट्रिपल ई का फॉर्म भरो, उस टाइम पे होता था, अब तो वो होता ही नहीं है। राइट सर? तो ये दो चीजें सर पहले आपसे जानना चाहूंगा, हाउ वाज योर स्कूलिंग एंड आपको ये कैसे विजिबिलिटी आई कि यार शुभम तेरे को इंजीनियर बनना
Okay. To give a background about my schooling, it was very good. I have studied in a Hindi medium school, up till my 12th. So I come from a actually very small city of Uttar Pradesh. So that time, the educational facilities, etc., were not that good, or we didn't have that sort of exposure during those times. But I think the teachers at the school were very encouraging. They used to encourage us a lot in terms of we should study, we should learn the basics, and they were not इतना वो नहीं था कि अच्छा हमें मगअप करना है एंड जस्ट आंसर्स देने हैं एंड रिजल्ट लेना है. They were not focused on that during, I think, that time. Like, I completed my 12th in 2006 and my 10th in 2004. So, but when I see the education of today's time, like I have some younger cousins and the children of my cousins, and I see that it's more about gaining vocation. It has changed a lot. I'm not comparing that time's education versus now, but I can certainly say that that time my teachers, the teachers at my school, they were very very, they used to encourage us a lot into getting into basics, understand about them, and make a future out of it. I think coming back to your question, how I chose to be an engineer, I think uh, there were some school seniors who got into that field by giving different exams like AIEEE, and in UP that time there used to be a UPSC exam also, which used to be there for entering into colleges of Uttar Pradesh only. So I think that sort of gave me a push, but I really didn't know what would be the path of it. Like we didn't have that exposure कि अच्छा अभी बीटेक करना है या फिर कौन सा कोर्स हमको चूज करना चाहिए so that it would lead me to that software engineering path of it. So I would say my parents played a great role into that. My father used to talk to lot of people, matlab to lot of people. He was into business, and if he would meet someone from outstation regarding his business, he would talk about it. वो और लोगों से guidance लेते थे. He would, that time the internet was not that prominent, right? Not much information was available on internet. तो वो उन्होंने काफी ज्यादा रोल प्ले किया into shaping up my career path. That was not sort of a forced thing, but he kind of shaped it कि अच्छा अभी हमको इस तरह के फॉर्म्स फिल अप करने हैं या हमको इस तरह का वी हैव टू चूज बीटेक versus this degrees, which colleges are good. He used to research a lot on his own about the colleges, and that time research was not on computer, like research used to
राइट सर,
be
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल।
more about talking to people, right? जिनके बच्चे और कॉलेजेस में हैं, to get the to get about कि placements किस तरह हो रहे हैं या फिर
बिल्कुल।
studies कहाँ पे अच्छी हैं, environment कॉलेज का कहाँ पे अच्छा है. So my father actually took care of this part कि कौन से colleges में जाना है, and my mother at the same time took care of my education. Like I said कि मेरी 12th तक education, it was like completely Hindi medium, and I didn't know, except the English subject, I didn't know anything about, how to communicate in English, or, how to study
सर सेम
read.
है एक्चुअली, इवन आई एम फ्रॉम कंप्लीटली हिंदी मीडियम स्कूल, सरस्वती विद्या मंदिर से पास आउट हूँ मैं टिल
Right.
12th।
So my mother actually took care of that part, that वो जाते थे बाहर, मतलब in her the ladies circle, and she will figure out कि अच्छा कोई English की teacher आई है in the city from some other city, and she's employed in that English medium school. She will go to the teacher's house and will talk कि अच्छा मेरे बच्चे हैं, मुझे उनको इंग्लिश में वो कराना है क्योंकि कल को वो बाहर जाएंगे एंड इट विल बी नीडेड. मतलब being a housewife, she was that much aware कि मुझे किस
इन्वॉल्व।
तरह से बच्चों की एजुकेशन करनी है. शी न्यू कि बच्चों को क्या जरूरत पड़ेगी. शी prepared us before me and my sister and my younger brother, we left from our hometowns respectively. So she kind of used to focus on us a lot in terms of our education, our health, our diet, our food. So yeah, so both of them sort of played a role in
ओके, आई थिंक सर
shaping
दैट्स
their
ग्रेट। सर एक क्वेश्चन और इसी में मुझे पॉपअप आया, इट्स लाइक कि जब आप स्कूल में थे तो सर कुछ बच्चे होते हैं ना जो कि हर स्टैंडर्ड में फर्स्ट आते हैं, तो वर यू दैट स्टूडेंट कि फिफ्थ में भी सिक्स्थ में भी फर्स्ट सेकंड
No,
हमेशा
I
फर्स्ट?
was not. I used to be in top three, but never first.
बट
So
टॉप थ्री थे ना सर, वही वही मतलब, तो वो
I
आई
was
थिंक टॉप थ्री आपस में ही फिक्स रहते हैं, कभी वो फर्स्ट सेकंड आ जाता है, सेकंड फर्स्ट आ जाता है, तो ये चलता रहता है कांस्टेंट।
I used to be in top three. Like everyone knew me at school in the city, but yes, never the first. I think until 10th. Yeah, so from 10th onwards, like I have held
ओके
rank
ओके
first. So
ओके, आई
yeah.
थिंक दैट्स ग्रेट सर। अच्छा सर, देन एक क्वेश्चन और सर, अब जैसे आप 11 ट्वेल्थ में सर आपने एआई ट्रिपल ई का एग्जाम दिया, ये सब एग्जाम दिया आपने, स्टेट वाला एग्जाम दिया, सो हाउ डू यू प्रिपेयर फॉर दैट? मतलब आपने खुद से प्रिपरेशन करी थी या आपने कहीं से कोचिंग भी ज्वाइन की थी उस चीज के लिए?
I went to Kota for a year.
हम्म।
I tried hard to go through IIT JE, but yes, look,
सर हाउ वाज
and
द लाइफ एट कोटा, मतलब हाउ वाज योर लाइफ एट कोटा? आपका एक साल का कैसा एक्सपीरियंस रहा?
It was very, so it was my first time stepping out of my home and going to a completely different distant city for, education. It took little time to, get accustomed to the coaching sort of environment. And, the time is very less, like you start in July and the exams used to happen in March. So there used to be very short time and you have to prepare for three subjects. So and the competition, I think the competition is still is very cutthroat. So
हम्म.
it like it was mostly about studies. मतलब, I don't think I have gained any experience there in that way. Just had
अच्छा.
very small circle of friends. We used to live together, and
ओके.
we were not in same coaching centers, but yes, we used to study. So
सर जनरली जब मैंने देखा है कि जैसे आप प्रिपरेशन के लिए एक पर्टिकुलर पेज पे गए, जैसे आप कोटा गए थे, तो सर जनरली क्या होता है कि बच्चा, हम उतने मेच्योर नहीं होते उस एज में कि हम बहुत अच्छे डिसीजन मेकर हों, तो जब आप गए थे तो एक फियर ऑफ मिसिंग आउट, जब आप इतना क्राउड देखते हो कि यार इतने लोग इस चीज की तैयारी कर रहे हैं, तो वेयर डू आई विल स्टैंड, तो आपको भी कभी वो फील हुआ था सर, या फिर आपको पता था कि नहीं मैं अपनी प्रिपरेशन करने आया हूँ, आप उन चीजों पे ध्यान ही नहीं देते थे कि मतलब आप यू जस्ट फोकस ऑन योर स्टडी एंड रेस्ट इज लेट्स लीव दिस, क्योंकि कहीं ना कहीं वो डर आ जाता है सर बहुत सारे लोगों को देख
I
के.
think that's very normal to have, right?
हम्म.
मतलब बहुत नॉर्मल सी चीज़ है वो कि we compare
हम्म.
ourselves with others, right? We
करेक्ट
try to
करेक्ट.
figure out where do we stand. We have that fear कि इतने लोग एग्जाम्स दे रहे हैं, what will happen
हम्म.
to my rank. I think that's a very normal fear to have, and I don't know. I think it's there in the corporate world as well, right?
ट्रू ट्रू
So
सर. करेक्ट.
I think we just learn to tackle with it, with
ओके.
time. But yeah, I think that's there. So,
ओके ओके, दैट्स ग्रेट सर. ग्रेट पॉइंट. आई थिंक सर देन जब आपने प्रिपरेशन करी, देन यू गॉट अ गुड रैंक. सर आई थिंक उस टाइम पे आपकी ऑल इंडिया रैंक बहुत अच्छी रही होगी, पहली बात तो आप थोड़ा.
it was not that good, yeah. So let's not about the number.
ओके ओके सर.
Yes, I
नो
would
प्रॉब्लम.
get to a very decent college for my bachelor's. So yeah,
हम्म.
that was it.
Okay, so sir, then you came to Roorkee and the same college. So how was your day one, if you remember? आपको अगर याद हो, how was your day one of college? What was your day one like?
I was very excited about the day one of the college. I remember the day one itself was going to college and paying the fees, doing the registration, like they call all the students on the day one to do that. I think I was very excited to meet new people and the how the life is going to be. But yes, I made new friends. I met my roommate whom I'm still in touch with, even after so many years, created great friendships there. So yeah, day one was like mix of things into paperwork, selecting room in the hostel, getting it allotted, and I think shifting to that room, setting up things with my parents. Day one was mostly like that only.
Mostly like that. Okay, okay. So sir, then eventually क्या होता है? फर्स्ट ईयर में सर टॉपिक्स, आई वुड से सब्जेक्ट्स सेम होते हैं सब ब्रांचेस के. तो फर्स्ट ईयर में तो सर उतना फील ही नहीं होता कि एक्चुअली आप कौन सी ब्रांच में आए हो, क्योंकि इट्स ऑल सेम. तो सर एक इंपॉर्टेंट चीज पूछूंगा आपसे कि जब सेकेंड ईयर से हमारे जो कोर सब्जेक्ट्स होते हैं ब्रांच के, जब वो स्टार्ट होते हैं, सो जनरली मैंने देखा है कि हम लोग ना, बहुत मेजोरिटी ऑफ द पीपल, मेजोरिटी ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स, वो लोग वो पाथ सही से पकड़ नहीं पाते हैं, बिकॉज उनको वो सीरियसनेस नहीं आती अंदर से कि नाउ दीज आर माय कोर सब्जेक्ट और इन पे मुझे पकड़ बनानी है, क्योंकि इन्हीं के बेसिस पे मेरी जॉब लगेगी. लाइक सर फॉर एग्जांपल, जो कंप्यूटर साइंस वाले हैं, अगर उनको डेटा स्ट्रक्चर, डा और सिस्टम डिजाइन, सी प्लस प्लस हमारे टाइम पे एक लैंग्वेज, ये सारी चीजों की अगर नॉलेज नहीं है, तो आप कितने भी मार्क्स लाते रहो, आप इंटरव्यू क्रैक नहीं कर पाओगे. राइट? तो सर, हाँ, इस बारे में आप क्या बोलना चाहेंगे सर?
I think marks are not directly related to your knowledge. Correct.
राइट,
It might
टोटली एग्री
reflect
सर.
that you know something, but it's very different, than what you're being asked in interviews, right? Interviews are not okay. What exactly is going to be the answer of this particular equation, right? Or this
राइट.
particular, no, and it's not like what is stack. It's not that simple, right? So for interviews, I think we have to do certain special preparation, solving, some sort of questions, or even if we are taught the subject, in that way, it would be easier, right? इस
राइट.
जनरली देखा गया है कि आपको जो पढ़ाया जाता है, राइट, कॉलेज में या कहीं पर भी, इट्स नॉट फॉर द इंटरव्यूज, राइट, इट्स नॉट टू prepare you for the interviews, right? It's general, giving you the knowledge which is there in the book, or to pass the exam, right? I think it take little more than what is there in the book to crack the interviews. But
Right.
yes, given whatever is there in the book, if we understand it not from the perspective of passing the exam, but to crack the interview, just if we go into the depth of that application, it would be much more useful. So yeah, matlab, I'm not saying I knew it in the at my time in the college, but that's what I have learned over the years. How the subjects can be taught, so that it can be used to prepare them for the exam, and at the same time, it can be used to prepare for the interviews. So
करेक्ट, टोटली एग्री सर। इनफैक्ट आई थिंक दैट्स अ ग्रेट पॉइंट कि जो हमें पढ़ाया जाता है इट्स नॉट नेसेसरी कि वो उसी वे में जॉब में इम्प्लीमेंट भी हो। तो दैट्स टोटली दोनों डिफरेंट चीजें हैं। ओके, तो सर जैसे आप जब आपका सेकेंड ईयर थर्ड ईयर फिर स्टार्ट हुआ, देन आपने गेट की प्रिपरेशन की तरफ आपका मूड हुआ, तो वाज देयर अ पॉइंट कि जब आपने सोचा था कि नहीं अब बीटेक के बाद मुझे जॉब कर लेनी है, तो दैट इज नंबर वन, या फिर आपने तभी मन बना लिया था अपने थर्ड ईयर ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग में कि अब गेट ही क्रैक करके पहले एमटेक करा जाएगा तभी नौकरी करी जाएगी? तो हाउ दैट ट्रांजिशन हैपेंड?
okay, so abhi kuch der pehle you asked a question, right? Ki what was my day one look like in the college, right? So my day one also included taking a resolution that since I couldn't clear it for JEE, I'll definitely go for my masters. So
Oh, amazing.
was
Okay. Okay.
that was one of the thing I think I took with myself when I got into that college.
Okay.
I haven't because that was my dream to get into IIT. It has been shaped over the years. I have
हम्म।
seen few of my school seniors getting into it. So yeah, that was my dream, and I thought, "Okay, let's move on with
आपकी
the
बकेट
bachelor's
लिस्ट मतलब
program."
अधूरी थी कॉलेज में
It
व्हेन
was,
यू स्टार्टेड
yes.
योर बैचलर्स? ओके।
Right.
ओके।
I think it was on the day one itself. I clearly remember while I was entering into that college, we were staying at one of my relatives' home in Roorkee before going to the college. And once I started from there, it was like I was like sure I have to do it. Matlab, that was my goal. I sort of decided on the first day of my college that is going to be the next step of my career. So
ओके,
of my
तो सर आपने
education.
फिर प्रिपरेशन कब स्टार्ट की आपने गेट की? व्हाट वाज दैट मोमेंट कि यू सेड कि अब आज से प्रिपरेशन स्टार्ट है?
I started from the third year. I wouldn't say I had that resolution back in my mind always. It kept me reminding, but I didn't know the direction, what to
राइट।
prepare for, how the exam is going to be. And, and one more thing, there was a fear of, failing again. So
राइट।
that feeling, that fear was sort of used to stop me a lot uh, from starting the preparation itself. The fear was
करेक्ट।
that big कि इतना ज़्यादा डर था कि आप उस चीज़ को टच भी नहीं करना चाहते थे।
बिल्कुल सर, आई कैन रिलेट विद दिस एक्चुअली। ये आई थिंक ये दिस इज साइकोलॉजिकल, तो दैट
इट
समवेयर
इज
वर्क्स इन आवर माइंड, हमारे माइंड में वो चीज काम करती है।
राइट,
ओके, नाउ सर, वन ऑफ द वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन, द क्वेश्चन इज कि देन हमारी लाइफ में, इनफैक्ट आई वुड से हम सबकी लाइफ में ब्लेसिंग थी एक, अंकुश मित्तल सर रुड़की आ गए। So now
राइट,
people who don't know अंकुश मित्तल सर, I think you just Google it and आपको आंसर मिल जाएगा। हम अंकुश सर को कोई इंट्रोडक्शन की जरूरत है ही नहीं। मतलब हमारा मुंह बहुत छोटा, मुंह बड़ी बात हो जाएगी, तो सर के बारे में हम इतना नहीं बोलने वाले। You guys just Google it, रमन क्लासेस और अंकुश मित्तल सर, you will get to know कि who is he. Now शुभम सर, आपसे ये पूछना चाहूंगा कि जब अंकुश मित्तल सर आए, how did that incident change your life as a student?
Okay, it was so when when Mithal sir joined the college, we were told, okay, a person with so many credentials are sort of joining the college, and
Right.
I think we were scared. Okay, madam, we haven't studied much in past 2 years, and he joined it when we were in the third year, right? And he started taking the classes. I still remember the first class he took was for the operating systems, and we were scared to attend his class. Matlab, he's such a renowned professor, studied in IITs, taught in such big institutions at such young age. we were literally scared to attend his class, what if he
Scared.
comes and asks us a
Feeling is
question.
mutual. Correct.
सो वो बहुत ज्यादा था यार, क्या करेंगे क्लास में जाकर के, पता नहीं कुछ समझ में आएगा भी कि हमें नहीं आएगा, और उन्होंने कुछ क्वेश्चन पूछ लिया तो मतलब अगर किसी को पॉइंट आउट कर दिया तो कैसे होगा. सो
बेइज्जती हो जानी है.
हाँ, तो आई स्किप, मतलब आई वुड एडमिट आई स्किप फ्यू क्लासेस. I think I skipped 2 or 3 classes in the beginning. And when people attended and they came back saying, "Ki nahi, sir," matlab, the sir is like completely different. You wouldn't feel that, he's such a renowned personality. And the way he used to teach was so simple, and, students used to absorb it very easily. So then I thought, okay, let me start going to the class. The first class I went to, it was fully packed. Matlab, there were students, like there were not enough chairs for students to sit. Like the people were standing in the back side of the
Right.
class. There were so many people standing on the entry gate. The room was completely
एंड आई
packed.
थिंक शुभम सर एक चीज यहाँ पे मैं ऐड करूंगा आपकी बात में. आई रिमेम्बर दैट इनफैक्ट नॉट ओनली स्टूडेंट्स, इवन द अदर प्रोफेसर दे वर स्टैंडिंग टू लिसन टू हिम. उतना सर की
Listen to
बात में वजन था उस, अब मतलब उस टाइम पे भी, अभी भी है. बट सर जब स्टेज पे
right.
चढ़ते थे तो जो एक्सपीरियंस प्रोफेसर होते थे वो भी ऐसे खड़े हो जाते थे कि सर बात करने वाले हैं
That
तो
was
चुप हो
like,
जाओ.
it was
राइट.
a very different thing. So I attended the class. It was some new topic starting, and it went like, very smooth. So
स्मूथ.
I just loved that 1 hour of class and the assignment. It was not a regular assignment he gave at the end of the class, like ये चार definition लिख लाना या ये 2 questions solve करना. No, he gave some very thought-provoking questions in the
प्रैक्टिकली.
end of the
करेक्ट.
session, like the practical thing which you would think about, some different or extended application of the problems which we had discussed in the class. That made me fan of him immediately. And then I heard from few seniors that, he has started this, the Raman classes, and he teaches students for GATE. I felt it, that thing, I think I have got the direction. So I was really scared to go to his, cabin and talk to him about it. कि मतलब मुझे तो कुछ आता नहीं है ये, मतलब मुझे लेंगे भी कि नहीं लेंगे. And he was like, we three four my friends, so we all went together and talked to him. He said, we have heard about a lot, we attended your session, and we have also heard that you conduct, the GATE coaching classes, and we would like to join. Then he asked us few things, and then he said ki the current classes he's running for is just a simple crash course for the upcoming exam, and I think it will be too much overwhelming for you folks. But then I think after 2 3 months he started a new batch, and we joined it, and I think he gave us everything, matlab, what to study, and his method of, like I said earlier, unka method jo tha na, it was not very, bookish type thing, right? He used to cover the topics which would help us both in our exams and, in our, practical knowledge, for the interviews, for the gates. So it was an integrated course where I don't have to study separately for exams, separately for interviews, or separately for the gate exam. So it used to be a common thing. He would teach us in a way, that would prepare us for everything. Because, once you have the basic core knowledge, no matter if it is what sort of exam it is or what sort of interview it is, it would be really helpful for you to crack.
राइट.
So
आई थिंक शुभम सर इसमें एक चीज हम और ऐड कर सकते हैं, जो कि आप जब बोल रहे थे ना ये बात, तो आई थिंक आई वाज रिकॉलिंग दोज डेज, वो दोज एग्जैक्ट मोमेंट्स की वो रुड़की में गली थी, वहां पे एक हमारा सेंटर था. आई थिंक सर इसमें अंकुश सर की एक और स्पेशलिटी है. आई थिंक पढ़ाई तो बहुत लोग करवा देते हैं, बट आई थिंक सर वो जो मोरल वैल्यू वो डेवलप करवाते हैं और डिसिप्लिन जो लाते हैं आपकी लाइफ में,
right, I was
वो जो
coming.
डिसिप्लिन.
It was not
राइट
just
सर.
the studies, right?
करेक्ट.
He used to shape everyone's life, right? Bring
राइट. राइट.
sort of discipline into it, and it was not, very hard and strict discipline. Like he
राइट.
would bring it in a way that you would love it. It was full of fun. So
आई थिंक सर
वो
एक इसका एग्जाम्पल भी हम ऐड कर सकते हैं ऑडियंस के लिए. दैट इज जो डेली शीट सर भरवाते थे, दैट इज वन ऑफ द डिसिप्लिन थिंग आपकी लाइफ में। तो बेसिकली ऑडियंस आपसे बात कर रहा हूं मैं अभी, सर का एक फंडा था एक्चुअली। आपको डेली टास्क शीट भरनी होती थी, डेली शीट। अब इस इट्स नॉट कि आप लोग फेक भरते हैं कि 4 घंटे सर मैं तो पढ़ रहा था, बट आप किसको फेक बोल रहे हो? सर को थोड़ी फेक कर रहे हो आप खुद के साथ फेक कर रहे हो, राइट? तो ही विल नॉट टेल यू, बट ही विल मेक यू रियलाइज कि तुम फेक कर लो, कोई फायदा नहीं होने वाला, क्योंकि तुम फेक अपने साथ कर रहे हो। तो दैट हैबिट विच ही डेवलप इन पीपल, कि आप डेली एक टू डू लिस्ट, जिसको आप कहते हो बेसिकली जनरल जनरल फंडे में, तो टू डू लिस्ट वाला वो जो उस स्टूडेंट लाइफ में उन्होंने इनकॉर्पोरेट करवाया, आई थिंक वो बहुत लोग आज भी फॉलो करते हैं। लाइक वन, आई एम वन ऑफ देम, जो कि आज भी उस चीज को फॉलो
Also
करता
one
है,
of them.
राइट सर? और वो जब आप
And
टिक लगा देते हो कि आज,
it makes life
राइट,
very easier to plan your day, right? To organize your day. At the end of the day, reflect on what you have done so far. Do you feel satisfied with it or not, right?
करेक्ट,
So that used to help us a lot in, while preparing for gate or while preparing for, I think, any other examination. I think it's
राइट,
valid for everything, not just for a simple exam or
करेक्ट, करेक्ट,
one
टोटली एग्री
exam.
सर, टोटली। अच्छा सर, यहाँ पे एक एडवाइस मैं आपसे चाहूंगा, जो लोग हमें सुनने वाले हैं ऑब्वियसली। तो व्हेन यू आर प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर गेट, तो हाउ शुड समबडी कुड गो फॉर दिस अप्रोच, कि व्हाट इज द बेस्ट अप्रोच टू प्रिपेयर फॉर गेट अकॉर्डिंग टू यू? मतलब आपने अपने लाइफस्टाइल में चेंजेस जो लाए हो सर, मतलब इसको इस तरह से रख लेते हैं, गेट की प्रिपरेशन से पहले जो आपका लाइफस्टाइल था एज अ स्टूडेंट, और जब आपने प्रिपरेशन स्टार्ट करी, तो आपने क्या क्या चीजें टोटली कट डाउन कर दी अपनी लाइफ से, वो क्या चीजें हैं? तो हाउ यू प्रिपेयर?
Um, the things I cut down is so I wouldn't say I had cut down a lot of things. It's just that my priorities changed, and with those priorities, I knew I realized it. Ki I have a very good guiding source with me, and that is my goal. What do you need in your life, right? You need a goal for yourself, which I had from the day one of my college. I didn't know who is going to direct it, and I think
करेक्ट,
I got it at a very right time. It was itself, I think, God's mercy on me directly that I got him at the right year. Like generally, people start preparing for the third year. I got him in
करेक्ट,
the third year, right?
राइट
So
टाइम राइट मोमेंट, करेक्ट।
right time, right moment, and I had my goal already. What I needed was
मेंटर।
a
हम्म,
guiding mentor, guiding light, and he was there. What else did I need? Like I don't have any excuse anymore, correct?
राइट,
So I immediately decided I have to go with him. Whatever he says, I have to do it. I have to do it for myself, right? And it helped me. It helped me a lot. Uh, like you said, he not only taught us academically, but he instilled a lot of moral values. He instilled a lot of discipline into our life. He built a character out of
राइट,
out of us, and that's a very, I think, impossible thing for a person to do with so many students in his class. But he
राइट,
was able to do it with each and every student of his. So I think in terms of specifics, I would say uh, I started getting up early, planning my day, preparing a weekly plan. Okay, this
अच्छा,
is how my
कितने बजे उठ जाते थे आप? कितने बजे सुबह उठ जाते थे?
I was not very good in that. I used to wake up by 5:30, 5, not
5:30 हॉस्टल
earlier
में
than
थे
that.
तब, उस टाइम पे आप
Hostel.
सर, राइट? हॉस्टल में 5:30 आप उठ जाते थे?
But there
तो
were
सर
there
जो,
were there were there were other students who followed it more, rigorously than me. They used to wake up at 4. They used to wake up at 3:30. They would sleep early, so that they can get up early in the morning and spend that time to study. I could only wake up after 5 or around 5. So, yeah. तो
तो सर,
मतलब जनरली 5 बजे उठना, आई स्पेंड 2-3 hours in very focused studying. And then and during that time we didn't miss classes. So sir's
हम्म,
idea was not that you just study the coaching and not attend your college or nothing. It was not like that. You had to balance out your gate preparation and your college, and in college you would have to attend the classes. So I was very particular about all this. It doesn't matter that if you are taking course from me and you have to skip other classes. You cannot do that. So you have to take those classes. You have to respect those teachers. You cannot just by not attending classes, it's a sign of disrespect to a teacher who is coming to take the class. Sir's thing was not that. So sir's thing was you have to take out time from your regular college schedule and study for it. You have to
Correct.
go to each and
Correct.
every class. You have to submit the assignments which the teachers are giving. You cannot take an excuse ki, okay, I'm taking the gate coaching from this sir and I would skip submitting an assignment. That was not a choice. And if sir would find out doing matlab, us doing this thing, taking advantage of this, you know sir would really bring us into discipline. So that was not a choice. So I used to wake up at 5, study till 8. The college will start from 9, 8 to 9. I would get ready, go for the breakfast, start attending the classes, come back from lunch, and depending upon the schedule, you take your time to study, and then attend the coaching class in the evening, which used to happen after the college will finish. So I would
Hmm.
never have classes during the college hours,
College
right?
hours.
It was always used to be after 5 o'clock when the college would be shut. So that, so I was setting an example for all of us to not, take things for granted, right?
Correct.
Or to not disrespect anything else in the process. So we had
Correct.
to attend the colleges, we have to submit the assignments, and that learning which we were getting from sir should be reflecting in the assignments, right? Should be reflecting in those work what we were learning, right? Otherwise, what is the use of you studying, right? You cannot just copy the assignment from someone and submit it, right? Whatever you are learning in the coaching, implement in those assignments and then submit it. Your work and your learning would speak for itself, right? That's how you improve yourself.
Correct.
So
Totally agree,
that's
sir.
what
I think
that's what the sir's principle was. You cannot miss classes. You cannot. You have to submit the assignments on time. You cannot take it for granted in the name of coaching classes, and you have to take care of your health. Sir's
right.
primary thing was you can do everything only if your health is good.
करेक्ट आई थिंक सर यही वो ट्रेड्स हैं कुछ जो कि स्टूडेंट्स में अगर मिसिंग होती है ना तो दे डोंट गेट सीरियस अबाउट इट तो आई थिंक अंकुश सर ने कहीं ना कहीं ये इनकॉर्पोरेट करी हम सबके नेचर में कि ये बेसिक चीजें हैं पहले हमें ये चीजें एफर्ट वाली लगती थी बट आई थिंक अंकुश सर ने इसको इतना माइंड में डाल दिया कि फिर ये एफर्टलेसली लगने लगी चीजें
It came like it gelled up into our lives so
एज ए
easily. It's
नेचर करेक्ट इट्स
as a
पार्ट ऑफ आवर
nature.
नेचर करेक्ट
We didn't feel it like a burden. We started enjoying the process, and it was not that I was alone in that way. There were a lot of students from our batch who were doing it, and we used to help each other. Like if someone someone would get up early and he would wake other people up, right? So we used to live in the same hostels, correct? So it's also about helping each other, right?
करेक्ट
Taking
करेक्ट
everyone forward. It was not a competition, right? It was a competition definitely in the gate, but it does do a healthy competition, right? Take the
टोटली एग्री
people
सर
along with
टोटली
you, right?
क्योंकि
So
इनफैक्ट सर
sir,
अगर जहाँ पे आपसे जो आपसे थोड़े ब्रिलियंट माइंड होंगे तो वहीं पे आप ग्रो कर पाओगे अगर आप किसी स्पेस में सबसे ब्रिलियंट आप हो तो फिर आपकी ग्रोथ रुक गई खत्म है आपकी ग्रोथ तो सर ने वो इन्वायरमेंट बनाया अच्छा तो सर थोड़ा इसको एक चीज और ऐड करूंगा आई थिंक मुझे सर एक चीज रिकॉल आई मतलब ये ऑडियंस के लिए इन्फॉर्मेशन के लिए मैं बोल रहा हूँ आई थिंक उत्तराखंड के लिए एज अ स्टेट ही ये बहुत ही बड़ी ब्लेसिंग थी कि अंकुश सर ने वहां पे बेसिकली गेट की कोचिंग स्टार्ट करी क्योंकि ऑन अ स्टेट लेवल आई वुड से कि रुड़की हरिद्वार देहरादून और जो भी जितने भी पहाड़ी क्षेत्र हैं आसपास के उस एरिया में कोई इस तरह के टीचर अवेलेबल ही नहीं थे कि जिनके यहाँ जाके आप उस तरह का एक माइंड सेट उस तरह का एक अपना लाइफस्टाइल डिसिप्लिन डेवलप करो कि आप कोई भी कॉलेज क्रैक करो मतलब जो सर के यहाँ स्टूडेंट्स पढ़ते थे आईआईटी बॉम्बे आईआईएससी बैंगलोर दीज आर ऑल नॉर्मल टर्म्स वरना
they,
जो थर्ड ग्रेड कॉलेज होते हैं प्राइवेट कॉलेज वाले जो हम स्टूडेंट्स होते हैं प्राइवेट कॉलेज के उनके लिए तो आईआईटी इटसेल्फ इज अ बिग थिंग बट सर ने रियलाइज करा कि कोई बड़ी चीज नहीं है पढ़ोगे तो आराम से मिल सकता है
आराम से हो
तो
जाएगा.
दैट्स अ बिग थिंग एंड वन
I
मोर
think
थिंग आई
sir
वुड मेंशन हियर
I think sir made that target very easy for us.
इजी
मतलब
करेक्ट
we
और वो
did
ट्रस्ट लाया वो बिलीव लाया हमारे अंदर वो वाला
to
अच्छा
believe
सेकंड चीज
that,
शुभम सर एक चीज और यहाँ पे मेंशन करूंगा अंकुश सर संडे को खाना खिलाते थे
right?
सो ही गेट द होम कुक्ड फूड वो
Yes.
खुद भी वही जो प्रॉपर अपना खुद का बनाया हुआ खाना मतलब अपनी जो मैडम थी सर की प्रॉपरली दे कुक फॉर द स्टूडेंट्स इट्स नॉट लाइक कि वो मेड से बनवा के या कुक से
We
बनवा
used
के
to
ला
have
रहे हैं
feast. We used to have proper feast on Sundays. Yes.
करेक्ट. सो नो नो टीचर विल डू इट गाइज. आप लोग समझ सकते हो कि टीचर को क्या पड़ी है ये सब करने की. मतलब यू आर पेइंग अ फीस, पढ़ रहे हो, घर जा रहे हो, बट देयर इज अ पर्सनल टच जो कि हम बोलना चाह रहे हैं. ओके, दैट्स अ ग्रेट पॉइंट है सर.
That was so. Sir was always there for the students. Like everything, what would make a student comfortable for him or her to study. I remember when Sir started, like when we used to go to this coaching center, uh, the electricity would, go off multiple times. Sir didn't think twice about getting a generator installed so that
करेक्ट.
we can have uninterrupted supply and, can study without any disturbance, without ACs getting shut, and, students feeling uncomfortable and breaking that flow of knowledge. So certain think twice about getting that for the benefit of the students, and I think I have seen it lot multiple instances. Sir's life was Sir's life is actually dedicated
टू
to
ऑल द
students,
स्टूडेंट्स.
around
करेक्ट
the
सर, टोटली एग्री.
students, giving the students a platform and everything. I have seen it at multiple occasions. I cannot even
बिल्कुल,
state
बिल्कुल.
it.
आई एग्री
So
सर, आई एग्री. तो आई थिंक दैट्स अ ग्रेट नोट. आई थिंक बिफोर वी मूव ऑन टू नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, अंकुश सर अगर आप ये देखने वाले हैं तो सर हमारी साइड से आपको सैल्यूट. नाउ द सेकंड थिंग. ओके, तो शुभम सर देन जब आपका गेट का प्रिपरेशन अच्छा हो गया, आपका ऑल इंडिया रैंक एक बार आप बता दीजिए, देन फिर क्वेश्चन पूछता हूँ मैं.
my all India rank was 64 in GATE.
All India rank 64. Guys, it's not state, it's not region, it's all India rank. Okay, so you can now get it. अच्छा सर, देन उसके बाद आप आईआईटी दिल्ली आपने डायरेक्टली चूज किया है या सर आपका एस्पिरेशन कुछ और भी था? मतलब हाउ हाउ यू लैंडेड अप इन आईआईटी दिल्ली?
I think I wanted to so at my so what happens in I don't know about today, but at that time, top 100 students like we had to fill the application to each and every college. It was not sort of a central counseling, so
हम्म.
we have to apply to each college with our GATE scores, and they would revert back with if they have accepted our application, and if it is going to be a direct admission, or if they are going to schedule an individual GD and interview round at each IITs you have to go and attend. So every IIT used to follow a different process. So I applied only to three IITs, only IIT Delhi, Kanpur. I think I just wanted to stay on that side of
तो
India.
क्लोज टू होम सर, वो फैक्टर
Close
था
to
कहीं ना
home.
कहीं, थोड़ा घर के नजदीक रहे
As in
ऐसा.
Nazdeek रहना है. So I wanted, I filled only two forms, IIT Delhi and Kanpur, and I was sure that having such a good rank, like I would get it. So both of them offered me a direct admission, skipping all the interviews and GD round, which they
हम्म.
would generally have for people above 100 all India rank.
हम्म.
So I got the direct admissions into both the colleges. I withdrew from IIT Kanpur and I went ahead for IIT Delhi. So
Sir, how
I
you
didn't
how
even
you
apply.
took that decision? How do you how you took that decision that not Kanpur, Delhi?
I think the Delhi was a capital. Delhi is a capital, and there are a lot of companies. Delhi is more accessible in comparison to Kanpur. Kanpur is
Okay.
definitely a great
पर
college.
commute wise आप बोल रहे हो कि commute was also easy to Delhi.
Yes, exposure wise, Delhi offers much more. Studies and academic professor and everything, it's same, right?
Okay,
So,
great sir, great.
so that way
So
I
then
chose Delhi. Yeah.
then you landed up in IIT Delhi. Okay. So sir, now my straight question would be, how was your day one at IIT Delhi?
Ideally, day one was same, doing the registration, attending the orientation session, same, hostel allocation, going in, setting up your hostel room. This time, so yeah, it was same. The campus was huge this time. You have to, you have to take a rickshaw to go to the, hostel area, come back to the academic blocks, etc. So it was huge. It's a different experience altogether. But I loved every step of it. I was seeing my, the dream getting completed. So I think
Okay, that's
that
that's
that
great,
that
wonderful
feeling
thing.
was also there. So yeah.
ओके। ओके, तो सर जब आप आईआईटी दिल्ली आए तो सबसे पहले थॉट ये आएगा कि ऑब्वियसली सर दोनों मतलब आप एक कॉलेज से निकल के दूसरे कॉलेज में आए हैं तो ऑब्वियसली सर कल्चरल डिफरेंस होगा, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर भी डिफरेंट होगा, बट थोड़ा मीनिंगफुल लेवल पे अगर मैं आपसे पूछना चाहूँ सर, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर तो चलिए छोड़िए, वो तो इट डजंट मैटर, क्वालिटी ऑफ एजुकेशन मैटर्स
It
नाउ।
was different.
राइट सर। तो सर जो क्वालिटी ऑफ एजुकेशन है, और आई वुड से नॉट क्वालिटी ऑफ एजुकेशन इन टर्म्स ऑफ कल्चर, लाइक व्हाट आर द मेजर 2-3 डिफरेंसेस जो आपने फाइंड, आपको लगे कि एक प्राइवेट कॉलेज में और आईआईटी दिल्ली में जो मेन टॉप 2 या टॉप 3 डिफरेंस आपने फील करे कि जिसकी वजह से आपको लगा कि यार दिस इज अ फ्लिप साइड, मतलब ये आईआईटी क्यों है, तो मतलब व्हाट वर दोस सर, मे बी सर्टेन पॉइंट है, 3 4 5 जितने भी आप बताना चाहें।
First difference is, I think, students itself. In private colleges, you would see teachers running after students to study. Here, the students was very, very self-motivated. You could see that thing in the students. So I think the students itself makes a great difference because that's the cream of cream you're getting there, right? So obviously they were very, very self-motivated, obviously brilliant, best of the minds you're interacting with in the college. So that was one. It's true. Then coming to the faculties, the mode of the teaching at the IITs is very different, right? They would let you study yourself. They would give you the pointers. They would give you the abstract of the problems. They would give you the abstract of the text, and it is expected that you would go back and study, and you would do some research. You would do the assignments, and assignments were not at all straightforward. Exams were not very straightforward. No matter how what you study in class, what you deliver in assignments, exams are going to be totally different, completely practical side of what you have studied in the classes or what you have done your own research. So I think that self study, self research, the competition, I think grills you a lot. So I think uh, you have to. I think
दीज आर द एस्पेक्ट जो कि आपको लगता है कि मतलब एक आईआईटी इनको शेप देते हैं उस तरह
I
से।
think yes,
ओके
and
ग्रेट।
I think the real struggle starts when you get into IIT. Getting into IIT is much easier. Uh,
हम्म।
then getting through those years in IIT is more tougher than the exam, than the entrance exam, I think. So that has been my experience. Obviously, it can be different for different people, but getting in, matlab, after going through those, academic years in IIT, I
हम्म।
realized that getting into IIT was much easier. So the real thing starts when you get into IIT. So
राइट। अच्छा सर, एक चीज और मैं यहाँ पे पूछना चाहूंगा आपसे सर, जनरली क्या होता है, एंड सर दैट इज समथिंग आई आई थिंक सो, आई आई वांट यू टू कमेंट ऑन दिस कि आप भी इससे कहीं ना कहीं अलाइन है या आपका क्या थॉट है इस बारे में। सर जनरली जैसे आपके जो कॉलेज के सीनियर्स होते हैं ना, दे आर अ बिग इन्फ्लुएंस ऑन यू और दे सेट द ट्रेंड ऑफ द कॉलेज। सो प्राइवेट कॉलेजेस में आई थिंक बहुत कम ऐसे हमारे सीनियर्स होते हैं जो कि कुछ बहुत बड़ा कर जाते हैं। आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि सर जॉब वाइज मैं बड़ा कर जा रहा हूँ कि दे ओपन देयर ओन कंपनी या फिर वो कुछ इतने लेवल पे पहुंच जाते हैं कि देयर इज अ बार सेट हो जाता है सर उस कॉलेज के लिए। बट आई थिंक आईआईटी में जो अलुमिनाई नेटवर्क है वो नेक्स्ट लेवल है सर,
it's very
क्योंकि
strong.
वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग, क्योंकि आप यूएस में देख लो, यूरोप में देख लो, जहां भी बड़ी कंपनीज है वहां पे आपको आईआईटी टॉप नॉच पोजीशंस पे मिलेंगे। तो आपका जो अलुमिनाई नेटवर्क है वो इतना सॉलिड होता है कि आपके माइंड में ना कोई भी अचीवमेंट बड़ा नहीं होता। प्राइवेट कॉलेज के लिए 10-15 लाख का पैकेजेस वो न्यूज़पेपर में आता है सर। बट
Yes.
आईआईटीएन जो होता है वो खुद ही ये सोचता है कि अरे यार 10 लाख मैं तो ज्वाइन ही नहीं करूंगा, मेरे को तो 35 चाहिए, वीजा में जाना है, मुझे तो यूएस जाना है वीजा ज्वाइन करके, राइट सर। तो ये जो
I think
अल्यूमिनाई वाला इम्पैक्ट है सर, डू यू थिंक कि अल्यूमिनाई नेटवर्क से बहुत फर्क पड़ता है आपकी लाइफ में एज
it
अ
helps a
स्टूडेंट?
lot. It helps a lot. In industry, it's all about your networking. Once you go into corporate world, it's all about how strong your network is. You do not get job by just interviewing, right? You have to
करेक्ट
have good
सर।
references. You have to have good network to get to the table of the interview. So I think it's very strong, and every IIT has that alumni base. let's say a person running a startup, and he's basically from IIT Delhi or from some other IIT. I have seen a trend, and I might be wrong, but this is the thing I have seen, that they trust a lot people from their own college or from the IITs itself.
Right.
So they try to hire people from that, from those colleges,
Hmm.
and they know it's sort of an inherited trust that the person will deliver, the person will be good, because they also have gone through that sort of education, that sort of training. They know what this person has been through, right? So they understand. It's kind of an unsaid understanding between the people. Okay, you have to deliver, and people have that implicit trust through that IIT brand name, that okay, people will work, the person will deliver. So
Correct. And
obviously there are exceptions everywhere, but that's a general, I think, thought among the IIT
totally
people.
agree, sir. I think even I 110% would stress on this point, and this is something I also believe totally. ओके तो सर एक चीज और आपसे मैं पूछूंगा इट्स लाइक कि सर जब आपने अपना एमटेक किया ऑब्वियसली तो एमटेक के बाद हमें जॉब कहीं ना कहीं करनी है सो आई स्टिल रिमेंबर दैट यू लैंडेड अप इन मेंटर ग्राफिक्स दैट्स वन कंपनी आई विल नेम तो दैट इज द एमएनसी जिसके लिए आपने काम किया था काफी बड़ी कंपनी है एंड दे पे रियली वेल वो मार्केट में उनका रेपुटेशन भी वही है कि मतलब दे पे रियली वेल तो ये हर कोई जानता है जो कि कंप्यूटर साइंस आईटी बैकग्राउंड से होगा जो हमें देख रहा है तो नाउ द थिंग इज सर उसके बाद आपका जो ट्रांजिशन आया आपने हमने स्टार्टिंग में बात भी करी थी कि यू मूव टू द स्टार्टअप स्पेस that was one company which was a kind of a MNC. Then you move into the AI companies. I remember, I think Attentive AI was one of them, and one more company you joined, and then you landed up in one more company. So, what is the difference? I'll not say, sir, how was your experience with the MNC? I would want to know MNC वर्सेस स्टार्टअप आपने सर ट्रांजिशन कैसे देखा है मतलब आपको क्या डिफरेंस फील होता है आज अभी भी सर इतना टाइम बिताने के बाद हाउ यू थिंक कि एमएनसी कैसे फंक्शन करती है और स्टार्टअप कैसे फंक्शन करता है
I think MNCs are very established, companies over 20, 30 years. They have paid billions into their bucket. It's all, the teams are spread across continents, across different countries, across different functions. So it's a lot. It's a lot. And what my experience has been that in MNCs, if they're having multiple products, you get to work on a very small problem when you're
Hmm.
working on an MNC. Obviously, I'm not saying the problem is small or
Hmm.
it's irrelevant, but you get to see a very small picture into an MNC, because there are so many people, there's so many products, so many processes split across the countries, across teams, that you get to see a very small picture of it. While in startup, it's different. Your role is not confined to just being a developer.
Hmm.
You get shaped across all the functions. Someday I'm a developer. Someday, if a tester is not there, I'm also doing the testing, right? Someday I'm doing the documentation also. Someday it might happen at some middle level. I might go and interact with a client, right? Or I might be talking to some salesperson. I might be understanding some different functions. So you get to explore in the startup space. You get to learn a lot across the functions. Your role is not at all confined. Your growth is tremendous in the
Right.
startup, and but obviously then in startups you have to work a lot, you have to work hard. The things move at a great pace. In MNCs, things move to their release schedule. Okay, the release schedule is at this point, at that point, at that day. So things move a little slowly in MNCs, but here you see, okay, you have built it yesterday, it is on production day after. So the things move really really fast
राइट
in
आई थिंक
startup.
सर इसको हम क्या क्या शुभम सर हम इसको ऐसे भी कह सकते हैं कि एमएनसीज आर मोर प्रोसेस ओरिएंटेड एंड जो स्टार्टअप हैं दे आर मोर रिजल्ट ओरिएंटेड
Startup is completely delivery oriented, result oriented, and MNCs it's more about delivery, but by following the processes,
विद
by
द
following
प्रोसेस
with the
राइट
processes,
जो
with the
कि आई थिंक थोड़ा सिस्टम को थोड़ा सा स्लो कर देता है एंड आई टोटली गेट इट सर व्हेन यू आर सेइंग कि यू डोंट गेट अ फुल पिक्चर बिकॉज इतना सब कुछ प्री डिफाइन है कि इस टीम को इतना ही एक्सपोजर मिलेगा चीजों का दे विल नॉट नो द
exactly
फुल प्रोडक्ट लाइफ साइकिल वो
correct.
प्रोडक्ट लाइफ साइकिल कभी रिलेट ही नहीं कर पाते
Great, Nirmal. So in startups, you get to see the end to end of product cycles. and you get to interact with the product managers, you get to interact with the salesperson, what a client wants, understand their
Hmm.
perspective. You talk to the design person, you talk to the user research team. It exposes you to different the functions, uh, like how the marketing is being done. You interact with great people, so I think it gives you a sort of satisfaction. Okay, at the end of the day, okay, you have done something at the end of
Correct.
the day. So I think it depends on from person to person.
पर्सन टू
uh,
पर्सन। अच्छा सर, यहाँ पे एक पर्सन टू पर्सन से वन मोर क्वेश्चन आई वांट टू नो। सर बहुत ही ग्राउंड लेवल का क्वेश्चन है, बहुत ही बेसिक क्वेश्चन है जो जनरली लोग किसी से पूछ नहीं पाते। आई वुड से सर देखिए, पिछले कुछ सालों में जब से स्टार्टअप कल्चर आया है, आपको भी पता है, उससे पहले जो पैकेज मिलता था वो थोड़ा लोअर साइड पे रहते थे सर। स्टार्टअप्स जब से आई थिंक इंडिया में आए हैं, तो समवेयर वी हैव सीन की जो सैलरीज हैं वो भी काफी इंक्रीज हुई हैं ऑब्वियसली, क्योंकि दे पे यू एज पर देयर कैपेबिलिटी। वहां पे वो 3.25 वाला जो कॉन्टेक्स्ट चलता था सर कि इन्फोसिस टीसीएस आएंगी, 3.25 ही देना है, आप कितने भी टैलेंटेड हो, वो नहीं चलता। तो सर बहुत सारे ऐसे स्टूडेंट होते हैं जो कि सिर्फ ना पैसे को देखते हैं कि स्टार्टअप निकालना है या बड़ी कंपनी निकालनी है, क्यों? क्योंकि पैकेज ज्यादा है। वो अपने कैलिबर को और अपनी पैशन को नहीं देखते कि क्या मुझे वो पैशन है भी वो काम करने का। तो फिर क्या होता है सर, जनरली मैंने देखा वो लोग वहां पे आ तो जाते हैं इंटरव्यू क्रैक करके, जैसे आपने बोला कि आईआईटी में जाना तो इजी है बट सरवाइव करना टफ है।
survive kind of water. So yes.
तो जैसे जब वो स्टार्टअप में आ जाएंगे वो उतना ग्रिल ले नहीं पाते और वो 2 महीने में छोड़ के चले जाते हैं।
Yeah, it's
बहुत से ऐसे
I,
लोग भी होते हैं, आई एम नॉट सेइंग सर एवरीबडी इज लाइक दैट।
होता है ऐसे होता है, like people, like I have seen people switching from MNC to startup space and they found it really heavy.
करेक्ट
It's
करेक्ट
up to an individual what sort of uh, career they want, what sort of pressure they would like to take. You cannot force someone, you cannot tell ki okay, this is good, this is bad.
करेक्ट
Matlab, in my experience, nothing is bad and nothing is good. If it is working out for you, it's good for you. I think that's the scenario. But yep, given that, yes, startup pays a lot in terms of different sort of benefits. MNCs also pays a lot, not in the beginning, but as you grow into your career, more into your senior roles, you get that. But startup pays you that thing pretty early, I think.
एग्जैक्टली
But
सर,
yes,
टोटली यस।
exposure and learning also, I'm not saying is bad in MNCs. It's all about which company you are in, which team you're working for, which product you are working on. Uh, that depends a lot as well. So I'm not saying that only startups are giving that sort of exposure, but uh, every in startup in every role you will get that, but in MNCs only in few roles you'll get that.
करेक्ट।
So
बट
that's
सर
the
आई थिंक एक एक चीज, मतलब आप इस पे भी कमेंट करिएगा सर। आई थिंक स्टार्टअप में आई थिंक वो बंदा ज्यादा बेटर ग्रो कर पाएगा और सरवाइव कर पाएगा जिसके अंदर ना एक वो सेल्फ अवेयरनेस है। आई मीन
motivation.
टू से कि
It's a
सर
self
कुछ बंदे
motivation.
सेल्फ मोटिवेटेड जो है, क्योंकि सर मतलब आई थिंक ये मैंने कहीं सुना है कि जो स्टार्टअप फाउंडर होते हैं ना, तो जो व्हेन दे आर बिल्डिंग दैट मिलियन बिलियन डॉलर कंपनी, वो अपने यहाँ पे झाड़ू मारने से भी शर्माते नहीं है। अगर उनका झाड़ू मारने वाला नहीं आया है तो वो खुद अपना फ्लोर क्लीन करने की क्षमता रखते हैं।
I,
राइट
I,
सर?
I I totally agree. See, you are building a business, you are building a company, right? It's not easy. Matlab, try doing something and, you're running, let's say company with 50 people. You have to take care of their salaries, you have to take care of the business. Startup
करेक्ट
founders, it's a different life altogether. So
करेक्ट
that's how it is. Like you have to be very, very self-motivated to work into a startup. Nobody can instill that into you. If you are if you have that motivation, you'll go long way in startup space.
टोटली
Startup
एग्री
space
सर।
is all about taking ownership, having that sort of motivations. One more thing, I would like to point out here. Sometimes I have seen that a lot. Sometimes people figure out that their expertise or their passion is into some different area than they have their education in. It's very easy in a startup to try out new things. I have seen people coming into QA roles and turning into developers. I have
हम्म।
seen people coming in different roles and taking up in a different roles. It so
Hmm.
happened once I was working with a startup earlier. There came a resume, and the person actually came for a data entry profile. But when I scanned his resume, it was more opt, and he was actually working as a QA, but he wanted to switch to. He was working as a QA in an MNC. He wanted to switch to a startup space, and since he didn't have that experience, he applied. Nobody told him to apply as that data entry person, but he
Hmm.
applied himself as a data entry person
Hmm.
into the startup where I was working. When I scanned his resume, I found out the person is meant for QA. Why he applied as a a data entry operator or as a data entry person? I
Hmm.
had a call with him. I asked him straight on, like, "Hey, why did you apply like that?" He said, "Hey, sir,
Hmm.
I just wanted an entry into startup space, and
Oh, okay. He was
I
very
said, I asked him,
self-motivated.
like, did anyone ask you? He said, I connected few friends and they all said, start with some lower positions and eventually you will. And I can know it's not going to happen that way. You have
Hmm.
worked as a QA, you might not worked on the similar products or not have the exact same experience, but we are going to evaluate you as your QA skills. If it fits the profile, will offer you the QA profile. If not, then we'll make you entry as a data operator, we'll let you do that work, and then we'll ask you to move to the queue. It's not going to happen like that. So, but this was just example of moving from QA to QA. But I have seen a lot of people coming as a QA, seeing how the developers are working, getting that inspiration. They also switch to developers profile eventually, or from developer to product manager to into the product management or sales marketing. It's very easy in a startup space to try out new functions, because startups are all about failing fast and building fast.
Right.
So if you're failing, you get back to your role or you try it more. So you
Correct.
you fail fast, you deliver fast. So it's that sort of thinking into the startup. We don't wait, we don't think a lot if it will fail or pass. Okay, it will fail, we'll try out something new. So
राइट आई थिंक सर दिस इज वन ऑफ द एग्जाम्पल जो कि हम सेल्फ मोटिवेशन की बात कर रहे थे तो दैट पर्सन वाज वेरी सेल्फ मोटिवेटेड उसने आई थिंक ही टुक दैट रिस्क कि मतलब आई स्टार्ट फ्रॉम द स्क्रैच बट आई वांट टू गेट इनटू दैट स्पेस
that
मेजॉरिटी ऑफ अस आर कि उनको पक्की पकाई खिचड़ी चाहिए सर मैं हिंदी में ऐसे बोलूंगा कि
doesn't
बनी बनाई
happen.
खिचड़ी मेरी थाली में कोई लाके दे दो मैं बस खाना चाहता हूँ दैट्स इट बट दिस इज अ ग्रेट पॉइंट सर ओके सर आपने एक चीज मेंशन करी तो आपके क्वेश्चन से ही मैं एक क्वेश्चन पूछना चाहूंगा आपने रिज्यूमे की बात करी राइट तो सर व्हाट इज अ गुड रिज्यूमे आप इतने सारे इंटरव्यूज लेते हो आप इतने सारे कैंडिडेट स्कैन करते हो
It's a good
व्हाट इज अ गुड रिज्यूमे सर
A good resume is neither short nor long. It just have crisp of what you have done. Like I just look for 2 3 pointers. It varies from person to person. I just look at the projects the person has worked in past, and the college he's from. That sort of give me an idea of what sort of education the person might have had. But if a person is experienced, it's all about the sort of experience the person had.
ओके
Then the education becomes sort of over the years. I think once you are 2 3 years of industry experience, that college becomes, I think, obsolete. It's more
करेक्ट
about what you
बिल्कुल
have worked in those 3 years, what have you learned. So the interview basically happens based on those skills. So
करेक्ट
I think
आई
it's
थिंक सर आई थिंक
interview resume should not be more than 1 1.5 page. I think.
राइट सर टोटली अग्री आई थिंक सर इनफैक्ट इवन आई सी व्हेन रिज्यूम्स तो सर आपने भी आई थिंक ये फेस किया होगा कि लोग पैराग्राफ लिखते हैं पैराग्राफ इज नॉट नीडेड
I think two
जस्ट
or
बुलेट
one
पॉइंट्स आर इनफ
bullet point, 2 3 bullet points per role. I think is should be
राइट
enough
सो इट्स नॉट
to.
नेसेसरी लोग 10 10 लाइनें सर पूरा पैराग्राफ लिख देते हैं आई वाज पार्ट ऑफ दिस आई वाज वर्किंग ऑन दिस दिस वाज अ टेक्नोलॉजी नॉट नीडेड आप बुलेट पॉइंट लिख दो हम खुद पूछ लेंगे क्योंकि स्टार्ट वहीं
Right.
से होने वाला है
Exactly. But
राइट
yes, I think people refine it with time. So, but
राइट
yes, we do not. I do not reject anyone just because they have long resumes or they have very extra short resumes.
राइट
As
राइट
far as I
बट
am
सर आई
getting
थिंक
information, I need
शुभम
to
सर आई थिंक
shortlist.
एचआर लेवल पे सर एचआर जब रिज्यूमे शॉर्टलिस्ट करते हैं सो दे 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 लुक एट इट प्रॉपरली कि मतलब हाउ आई वुड से कि जब वहां से शॉर्टलिस्ट होके हमारे पास आता है, तो आई थिंक समटाइम दे ऑल्सो शॉर्टलिस्ट दोज पीपल इन गुड कंपनीज एटलीस्ट वेयर द थिंग्स आर हाईलाइटेड। जैसे आप जो टेक्नोलॉजी पे काम कर रहे हो उसको बोल्ड करो, लाइक एटलीस्ट दो
Right.
वर्ड्स बोल्ड करो आप, उन उन वर्ड्स को जो कि रेलेवेंट है। तो आई
Correct.
थिंक वो चीजें भी करते हैं लोग।
हाँ, I think that's good to do. मतलब yes, मतलब different people scan resumes in different
अब तो
ways.
सर टूल भी आ गए हैं बहुत सारे, एआई
There are
वाले
a lot
टूल
of
हैं तो।
now to every companies have a lot of they have tools. They just feed in they just feed your CV. They fill in their criteria and they sort
एंड
of
यू गेट द
produce
स्कोर।
a score.
राइट, टोटली
You
राइट।
get a score, and basis that either you are shortlisted or not. So that's how it's
राइट,
being done nowadays in the industry. But yes.
बिल्कुल। ओके, तो सर एक और थोड़ा सा पीछे चलते हैं। तो
Mhm.
नाउ आई वांट टू आस्क यू सर, 2011-12 जब आप उस टाइम पे पास आउट हो रहे थे, तो उस टाइम में, अब 2024 में हम आज हैं, अब इनफैक्ट सर 24 भी खत्म होने वाला है 2 महीने के अंदर। तो ये जो सर 10 से 12 साल का जो पूरा टाइम स्पैन है, आपने इंडस्ट्री को किस तरह से ग्रो होते हुए देखा है? व्हाट इज योर, मतलब मे बी इस पे आप डिस्क्रिप्टिवली कैसे बोलोगे कि मतलब हाउ यू हैव सीन द ट्रांजिशन? क्योंकि सर अब जनरेटिव एआई, चैट जीपीटी, इतनी चीजें मार्केट में आ गई हैं जो कि उस टाइम पे नहीं होती थी। तो हाउ दैट ट्रांजिशन हैपन फ्रॉम सी सी प्लस प्लस टू नाउ चैटबॉट इज राइटिंग कोड फॉर यू?
I think it has changed a lot in last 10 to 12 years if you see from the technical perspective. Like when I got out of IIT, there were not many startups. There were like few startups, and people were not very inclined towards it, or they didn't have that sort of exposure. It all started booming in 2015. So I think it gave people a lot of exposure. Startup brought a lot of new technologies. They started incorporating a lot of latest technologies. While the MNCs, since their product has been developed for last 20, 30 years, they especially work on the older technologies like C++. I'm not saying the older technology is bad, but they mostly write codes on, the existing languages which were there at that time. So I think in one way there have been new languages. Startups have been fast to try out those technologies, contributing into the open sources, etc. That made those technologies even more usable for industry. So in that way, I think startup has contributed a lot. Apart from providing, new uh, domain of businesses, new technology. I think giving that contribution to technology, I think, was a great thing which startups have kind of shaped in the industry because MNCs were typically running on its own course, and so with the startups coming in, it started incorporating these new technologies, kind of saw that evolution. I think
राइट,
ChatGPT and generative AI is part of that next evolution itself.
टोटली
So
एग्री सर। सर यहाँ पे एक क्वेश्चन और आता है कि कहीं ना कहीं सर एक टेक्नोलॉजी चेंज आता है। आई थिंक सर हर 5 या 10 साल में एक टेक्नोलॉजी मार्केट में नई आती है।
3 to 4
और
years,
लोगों
yes.
को, हाँ सर, और लोगों को क्या इंप्रेशन जाता है, मेजोरिटी और मार्केटिंग भी इस तरह से करती है कंपनीज कि अब तो ये कुछ बड़ा होने वाला है। ये होता है सर हमेशा, मतलब एक टेक्नोलॉजी जो नई आती है मार्केट में, लोगों को लगता है कि अरे अब तो कुछ डिफरेंट लेवल चीजें होती हैं।
I think
बट सर,
people have to upgrade themselves with the newer technology, and I think
राइट,
it's not tough if you have that mindset, if you have that exposure. It's not tough to sort of upgrade yourself, with this generative AI and AI tools coming. A lot of people are still discovering what is going to be the use of it in longer term, but if we started from now, from the beginning itself, start understanding about it, start coding about it to a minimal level, so I think keeping us upgraded with the updated technologies is not a very hard thing. Generally, see, programming languages definitely will have their own, pros and cons, the type of application it suits for. But more or less, it's all about syntax and semantics, right? It doesn't
करेक्ट,
change the kind of engineering you put in to solve a problem. Okay, languages are just a medium to solve that engineering challenge you have, right? No matter you code in Python, no matter you code in Go, or no matter you code in C++, right? Uh,
राइट,
but it's all about how you are going to solve that question that makes a person engineer. So
करेक्ट, टोटली एग्री सर, यस। अच्छा सर, एक चीज और, डू यू थिंक कि जैसे सर अब एआई से इतनी चीजें हो रही हैं, चैटबॉट्स आ गए हैं, सो एक कस्टमर, सर एक लेयर तो हमें क्लियरली दिख रही है कि जो कस्टमर सपोर्ट लेयर है कंपनी की, दैट इज हाईली ऑन रिस्क, क्योंकि चैटबॉट वो सारी चीजें बहुत इफेक्टिवली कर पा रहा है। तो
right,
वो जो
then
एक ट्रेडिशनल
chat.
प्रोसेस होता था, आई थिंक दैट कैन बी कटिंग डाउन, एंड इनफैक्ट सर कंटेंट राइटर जो होते थे पहले, कि जिनका काम कंटेंट लिखना होता था, चैट बोर्ड्स आर डूइंग अमेजिंगली एंड विद मोर बेटर इंग्लिश, विद बेटर ग्रामर, बेटर एवरीथिंग। सो डू यू थिंक सर कि कहीं ना कहीं जॉब्स को भी खतरा है ये एआई के ज्यादा डेवलपमेंट होने से?
I don't think. I think with more and more, see, I definitely don't have any comment on it. If you know if it will cause a job loss or something, but yes, to an extent it will cause. But then life is unfair. It is the survival of fittest, right?
राइट, टोटली एग्री सर। एंड
So
सर आई थिंक इससे ये एक चीज और होगी कि एआई रिलेटेड नए रोल्स क्रिएट होंगे, तो वो कहीं ना
yeah,
कहीं
yeah,
कॉम्पनसेट हो जाएगा।
correct. So, like, it will happen, right? So, once programming came, people thought, ki, okay, the data entry work, the data entry operators will not be needed. But if you'll see, we have the data scientists, right? We have
करेक्ट,
the data related roles, right? So, the roles sort of got transformed, right? But that thinking, if you apply here in these roles, will still be useful, correct? So
राइट,
those AI related more roles will be generated, but yes, we have to upgrade ourselves every three to
अपग्रेड
four
सर,
years.
टोटली सर, दैट्स
So
लाइक 100%
that,
ट्रू, वो तो
there is no
24 कैरेट
denying,
गोल्ड वाली बात है, बिल्कुल।
there is
टोटली
no
एग्री।
denying to that.
ओके। अच्छा सर, एक चीज और, थोड़ा सा और पीछे जाऊंगा आप ही की लाइफ में, तो सर जो बच्चे आज 2024 में गेट की कोचिंग कर रहे हैं, या फिर सर कहीं ना कहीं वो जॉब्स के लिए तैयारी कर रहे हैं बेसिकली, तो सर क्या होता है जब आप गेट में अच्छी रैंक, हर कोई तो नहीं ला पाता, और कई बार सर जैसे आपने बोला लाइफ इज अनफेयर, सो कई बार जो डिजर्व करते हैं दे आर ऑल्सो नॉट एबल टू गेट इट, तो
Right.
उनका जो मोरल होता है वो बहुत डाउन हो जाता है, उनको लगता है कि यार इतना पढ़ाई करी पूरे साल, सब कचरे में चला गया। सो डू यू थिंक सर कि ऐसा होता है, या फिर सर आप, आपका ये पर्सपेक्टिव होगा कि अगर आप गेट क्रैक नहीं भी कर पा रहे ना, तो आपने इतना कुछ पढ़ लिया है कि आप अगर कंपनी भी ज्वाइन करते हो, तो वो जो बाकी सारा क्राउड आया है ना, यू विल एक्सेल फ्रॉम दैट, एंड आपकी ग्रोथ वहां पे भी आप अचीव कर लोगे। व्हाट डू यू थिंक अबाउट दिस सर?
I think so. I'll see from our own example. So there were our batch was big, right? Not everyone got into IITs and NITs into master. Few of
राइट,
them had pretty lower rank. Like I said, having a knowledge doesn't always translates to numbers, right? It's not a parameter of your knowledge, correct? It might be that your day was bad in that exam day on that exam day, but I think that knowledge remains with you. If you'll go to the job, you'll apply for the interviews, there are more chances for you to succeed than the person who has not gone through that sort of
टोटली
preparation
एग्री।
you have done. But it depends on the preparation, right?
राइट,
Right?
राइट,
What sort of preparation you have done. If you have only done for gate, definitely it's not going to be useful.
राइट,
But if you have done the preparation like we did, it is definitely going to be useful. So the preparation makes all the difference.
करेक्ट,
But yes, numbers are never a parameter of someone's knowledge, right? People grow, in their career. Like people take different career paths, so it's all different how people are growing. So
करेक्ट, बट सर
my
आई थिंक
suggestion, my
वो जो,
suggestion to them, don't have that sort of, don't get demoralized. So
एग्जैक्टली राइट सर, टोटली। क्योंकि वही मैं सर पॉइंट पे आना चाह रहा था कि जब लोग ना इसको, आई थिंक उस एज में हम अपनी सारी अचीवमेंट्स को ना एक पूरा लाइफ शैटरिंग इवेंट की तरह लेते हैं, कि अगर
mhm.
आपका गेट में नहीं हुआ, अब मेरी लाइफ खत्म है, मतलब कुछ फायदा नहीं है मेरी जिंदगी का, तो मतलब दैट मेनी पीपल गो इनटू दैट स्पेस कि लाइक दे फील रियली डिसअपॉइंटेड, बट आई थिंक जो सर आपने बात बोली कि अ, मतलब इट्स नॉट अबाउट कि पंखों से उड़ान नहीं होती, वो सर एक कहावत चलती है ना कि हौसलों से उड़ान होती है, तो इट्स पंखों से नहीं होती है।
Yeah,
तो
it's, I would say it's a very human feeling, right? You cannot
राइट, राइट,
artificially suppress it. It's a human feeling. Like I have also felt multiple times in my life,
करेक्ट,
so
करेक्ट,
that's very natural to have that feeling for a while, not for indefinite time. Yes, for a while, that's normal to have, And
Correct.
I think I would say ki, have that feeling, make a new target for yourself, make a new goal for yourself, get up and start preparing.
राइट। एंड सर
Time
आई
won't
थिंक
come.
आपकी बात में मैं यही ऐड करूंगा ऑडियंस के लिए कि आई थिंक इवन आई हैव सीन सो मेनी पीपल जो कि बहुत टैलेंटेड थे बट वो उतनी अच्छी रैंक नहीं ला पाए, एंड बट लेटर ऑन नाउ व्हेन आई सी एट लाइफ दे आर डूइंग मच बेटर देन मेनी ऑफ देम जो कि
It,
रैंक भी लाए। तो इट्स नॉट द एंड ऑफ द रोड। अगर अभी आप स्टूडेंट लाइफ में हो तो अभी इट्स जस्ट अ फेज कि आप अपना करियर शेप कर रहे हो, बट ये एंड नहीं है। हमारे
this,
पेरेंट्स ने कुछ चीजें हमारे अंदर इनकॉर्पोरेट करी है, आई थिंक उसमें से कुछ चीजों से डिसएग्री भी आप कर सकते हो। लाइक फॉर एग्जाम्पल कि अगर आपके मार्क्स अच्छे नहीं आए तो आपका लाइफ में कुछ नहीं होगा, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है।
ऐसा
आई
है नहीं।
बिलीव बिल्कुल नहीं है सर, क्योंकि आई थिंक अगर आप अच्छे
तो
टैलेंटेड बंदे हो, आपने गेट में बहुत अच्छी कोचिंग करी है, आपकी प्रोग्रामिंग बहुत अच्छी है, कल को हो सकता है आप कोई ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म बिल्ड कर दो अपनी कोडिंग स्किल को यूज करते हुए जॉब में जाने के बाद। मैं बोल रहा हूँ आप जॉब भी कर रहे हो लेट्स से बहुत कम पैसे की, बट आप ऐसा कोई कोई भी एप्लीकेशन बिल्ड कर दो जो कि कल को कोई कंपनी एक्वायर कर ले। 500 करोड़, 300 करोड़, 400 करोड़, ऐसे बहुत एग्जाम्पल है हमारे सामने, राइट सर?
there is no age to start something new. There is no age where you can stop growing. It's nothing like that. We have multiple examples in the industry. We have examples of a lot of civil services officers who couldn't crack, who got, who barely passed their 12th, and they got into such highly respectable UPSC examinations. So I think in any domain, uh, not cracking an exam is never the end of someone's
करेक्ट।
life. It's not the
करेक्ट।
end of their ambitions. Just
टोटली
find
एग्री सर।
out what you want to do further if you have failed. I think that's
बिल्कुल।
what we all have done in our lives. So
टोटली अग्री सर, अग्री। मतलब यही बोलना चाहूंगा मैं ऑडियंस को, आई थिंक आप लोग जितना हाथ पैर चला सकते हो ना आप उतना लंबा जाओगे लाइफ में। इट डजेंट मैटर कि मतलब ऑन द स्पॉट आपके पास पेपर पे वो रैंक है या नहीं। अगर आप
exactly.
हसलर हो आई वुड से, एंड यू नो हाउ, अगर कॉन्स्टेंटली आप ये सोच सकते हो ना कि मतलब मुझे ग्रो करना है, मुझे ग्रो करना है, तो कोई डिग्री कोई कॉलेज आपकी ग्रोथ नहीं रोक सकता। क्योंकि मैंने देखा है बहुत सारे ऐसे बंदे जैसे कि सर ने मेंशन भी किया अभी कि जो कॉलेज टाइम पे उतने अच्छे नहीं थे बट दे शेप देयर करियर, दे शेप देयर लाइफ, और आज वो मतलब एग्जाम्पल मुझे देने की जरूरत नहीं है, आई थिंक सबसे बढ़िया
Better
एग्जाम्पल होंगे।
positions.
राइट सर, एंड एग्जाम्पल तो सर इतने सारे हैं। आई थिंक इवन फेसबुक के ओनर दे आर ड्रॉप आउट्स, राइट? दे आर
Exactly.
नॉट रैंक होल्डर, राइट? सो ओके, सो दिस नोट पे विल क्लोज दिस क्वेश्चन यहाँ पर। अच्छा सर, आई थिंक सर एक क्वेश्चन मैं और लास्ट में आपसे जानना चाहूंगा। आई थिंक मैंने आपका काफी टाइम हम वी हैव स्पेंडेड इट्स ऑलमोस्ट मोर देन 1 आवर। सो वन थिंग सर, व्हाट विल बी योर एडवाइस? सर टू क्वेश्चंस आई विल पुट। सो व्हाट विल बी योर एडवाइस टू द पीपल जो कि अभी फ्रेशर लेवल पे हैं और आईटी सेक्टर में आना चाहते हैं? नंबर वन। नंबर टू सर, जो ऐसे लोग हैं जो कि ऑलरेडी जॉब कर रहे हैं और उनको बेटर करियर अपॉर्चुनिटी की तलाश है सर, जैसे आपने बोला कि एक टेस्टर था जिसको कि डेवलपर रोल में आना है या स्टार्टअप स्पेस में एंटर होना है, तो फ्रेशर के लिए आपकी क्या एडवाइस है? और एक्सपीरियंस जो मिड लेवल लोग हैं उनके लिए आपकी क्या एडवाइस रहेगी कि ऐसे करियर में ग्रो कर सकते हैं वो लोग?
I think for a fresher who is just starting, their career, my advice to them is focus on your learning. Matlab, if you, it's the time, which you should be spending on, learning. Obviously, you see, money is the core of all of our lives, right? So I'm not saying deny money, right? I'm not a saint, but at the same time, keep a balance between that money and learning and growth. If you have to settle for lesser package in some company, but you see the learning would be good, the growth would be good, do not hesitate in taking that little lesser package, because that learning which you will get it, think of it as an investment you are doing with that lesser money, so that you will learn more, you will grow more, and then you would go to a different company that the transition financially and growth wise will be very huge. So my advice to them is focus more on learning, see where are the growth opportunities, more than the growth, where are the learning opportunities where you can contribute more, learn more, be more and more hands on. So I think that's my advice to the freshers. A similar advice to the people who are into their career into 4 5 years. Same, if you are looking for a a domain switch or career switch, try and find out the opportunity within your company first, because that's the company where you have worked, let's say, as a QA for, let's say, 2 years, 3 years. Uh, Start interacting with the developers, take the access of the repo, etc., understand more about the product, build a side project, so that you develop that, sort of programming instincts, do some hands-on, and then talk to the people in your company and see, I have done this progress, I have done this side project, maybe small project, not some big project of the thing, or maybe some small project, so that you can learn and nitty gritty of the programming, etc. And then pitch it. Okay, I have done it. I want to learn it. Maybe they'll plan a transition for you. I think if you'll just go, I want to do it, nobody would take you seriously unless you put some efforts into it. I think that's more important in showing that you are putting effort, so that people take you seriously and do the planning for you. That goes a long way, a very long way, and it will be easier for you to do it.
ग्रेट सर, ग्रेट. सो गाइज, यू आर गेटिंग द एडवाइस फ्रॉम द बेस्ट. सो मेक श्योर
Not
कि
the
आप
best.
ये फॉलो करो चीजें, ठीक है. एंड आई वुड से मे बी यू पॉज दिस वीडियो एंड शुभम सर ने जो बात बोली है ना, इसको थोड़ा ढंग से सुनना, प्रॉपरली सुनना, ठीक है. मतलब डोंट मिस दिस. ओके, मतलब हर एक वर्ड का मीनिंग निकाल के, एंड देन इफ यू हैव एनी डाउट, सो आप ऑब्वियसली हमें कमेंट करके बता देना वीडियो में अगर आपका कोई डाउट हो. बट इसको स्ट्रेस करूंगा मैं कि सर ने जो बातें बोली है ना, इनको प्रॉपरली इनकॉर्पोरेट करोगे तो यू विल गेट द मीनिंगफुल थिंग्स फॉर यू, फॉर श्योर. Okay, I think, sir, I would like to really thank you for giving me your time. That is also on छुट्टी वाले दिन. मतलब I know कि ऑफिस वाले दिनों में मतलब you're totally occupied, but छुट्टी वाले दिन भी आपने टाइम निकाला इस चीज के लिए, जो कि एक तरीके से it's again a work. मतलब it's kind of a
Not
thing.
a work, it's giving back to, I think, the community, the engineering community. I think
Right.
the upcoming students, and who want to get in industry.
So,
So
okay.
always
So,
ready to
sir,
help.
I had a great time, sir, talking to you. Sir, how was your thought? What
It
you're
was very
feeling?
nice. It was really nice to relive those memories, especially with you. We have been in touch for so long, so yeah, we have seen our career growth, our lives so closely. So yeah, that was a nice
Right, sir. I
experience.
think, sir, we after college now it's 12, 13 years and we are sitting here. So, matlab, that whole journey got revived.
Right, exactly.
Okay, that's great, sir. And I think audience now, this is very important for you कि जो सर ने बातें बोली है ना, so सर ने इतना एक्सपीरियंस देखा है, तब सर ने ये सारी बातें बोली हैं. एंड ही हैज बीन मूव, जैसे मैंने कंपनी का बोला था, एक ही वर्क फॉर वेरी बिग कंपनी, देन ही मूव टू मेनी स्टार्टअप्स, देन ही मूव टू यूएस. वो यूएस में उन्होंने वो कल्चर देखा, देन नाउ ही सर्विंग अगेन इन इंडिया. तो ये जो पूरा पॉडकास्ट है ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. और आई वुड से कि मेरा पार्ट स्किप कर देना, सर के पार्ट सुनना, दैट्स मोर इंपॉर्टेंट. ओके. Now, sir, really thank you for joining us, and I can't thank you enough. That's what the feeling
No
is.
need to thank
So,
me, Rajat.
okay, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank
So,
you.
audience, you have any thought, any comment, please like the video. And you have any thought, कोई क्वेश्चन है, कंसर्न है, प्लीज कमेंट करके बताइएगा. आगे अगर कोई पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक ऐसा आपको लगता है ऑडियंस की, जिस पे आप चाहते हो कि सर थोड़ा बात करें, तो आई विल रिक्वेस्ट सर, अगर वो रेलिवेंट हुआ ऑब्वियसली, सो सर कैन कम बैक अगेन एंड गाइड अस on those things also. So on this
Definitely.
note, I will wrap up this video, and